Welcome to your deep dive. Ready to explore a mind-blowing theory?
Always up for a challenge. What's on the agenda today?
Today we're diving headfirst into Zecharia Sitchin's The Lost Book of Enki. Buckle up, because this book claims to reveal Earth's history through the eyes of a god.
Oh, we're talking about Enki. Well, Sitchin's interpretation of those ancient Sumerian texts definitely ruffled some feathers.
It's not every day you hear about ancient myths intersecting with, alien civilizations.
That's Sitchin for you. He doesn't shy away from bold claims.
Right.
And he launches right into it with a planet in peril.
Let me guess. Nibiru.
You got it. But this isn't just any planetary drama. Their entire civilization is on the brink.
What's the problem? Asteroids on a collision course? Black hole looming nearby?
Think more along the lines of a failing atmosphere. Literally, their air is falling apart. Talk about a reason to panic.
Okay, that's a serious situation. Desperation can lead to some wild solutions. What's the intergalactic equivalent of duct tape when your whole planet's about to crumble?
Gold. And not just any gold. They needed a specific kind, in massive quantities, to replenish their atmosphere somehow.
Sounds expensive and complicated. Where were they going to find that much gold?
Well, that's where Earth comes into the picture. According to Sitchin, Nibiru had already been scouting our solar system. They knew Earth was like this gold mine, ripe for the taking.
Okay, so we've got a dying planet, a desperate solution. Enter the Anunnaki, right?
Exactly. Think of them as this advanced team sent from Nibiru to, let's just say, acquire the gold from Earth.
Ah, so not exactly a friendly visit to exchange space cakes and cosmic wisdom?
Not quite. Now, Sitchin takes these Sumerian myths and weaves in this whole narrative of political intrigue and power struggles among the Anunnaki. It's like a space opera unfolding on Earth.
I'm already hooked. Who are the main players in this cosmic drama?
Well, it starts with their king, Alalu. He leads this first expedition to Earth, desperate to save his people, but also driven by ambition, which we'll soon find out is a dangerous cocktail.
So, did he strike gold, both literally and metaphorically? Did he secure the gold and maintain his power?
Let's just say ruling a planet on the brink is no walk in the park. Alalu faced a challenge to his throne, a real showdown, from someone you might recognize, Anu.
Wait, Anu? As in the Anu from the Sumerian pantheon?
The one and only. And let me tell you, this Anu doesn't mess around. He manages to wrestle control from Alalu and becomes the new king of Nibiru.
Dramatic much. So, what happens next? Does he pack up the gold and head back to Nibiru?
Not so fast. Anu decides to see this gold mine for himself. And it's during this little visit that we meet two figures who really shake things up. His sons, Enki and Enlil.
Oh boy, here comes the sibling rivalry. I thought that was just a human problem.
Sitchin uses these two brothers, their personalities, and their rivalry to explain a lot about human history. You see, Enki was actually the first of the Anunnaki to set foot on Earth.
So he called dibs?
In a way, yes. He felt a connection to Earth, even though technically Enlil, as the elder brother, was the rightful heir to the throne.
Talk about a recipe for conflict. So how did they settle this? Did they draw straws for who gets to control Earth?
Anu, always the wise father, decided to divide their responsibilities to keep the peace. Enlil was put in charge of Eden. Think of it as their main base of operations in Mesopotamia.
Makes sense. Keep the older, more level-headed brother in charge of headquarters. So what about Enki? What did he get stuck with?
Enki was tasked with overseeing the Abzu, which just so happens to be where they found that massive gold mine.
Wait, so the brother who felt a connection to Earth got put in charge of all the gold. Talk about a sweet deal.
You could say that. Enki essentially became the Lord Earth, overseeing the most vital resource in the solar system at that moment.
Not a bad promotion, but I have a feeling managing a planet, even one as gold-rich as Earth, probably comes with its own set of challenges, right?
You have no idea. And that's where things get really interesting. We've got this planet to save, a power struggle simmering beneath the surface, and a whole lot of gold to mine. And to tackle this monumental task, Enki proposes a rather radical solution.
Okay, now you've got me on the edge of my seat. What radical idea could a god possibly come up with in this situation? Okay, so last time we left off with Enki, the Lord of Earth, about to drop a radical solution to the Anunnaki's gold mining problem.
Right, remember, these guys need a lot of gold, and digging it all up is backbreaking work.
Yeah, even for advanced aliens, I imagine that gets old after a while. So what's Enki's big idea?
He proposes something pretty audacious, creating a new being to take on the burden of labor.
Wait, hold on. Is he talking about creating humans? Like us?
You got it. Sitchin interprets those Sumerian creation myths quite literally. He suggests the Anunnaki took existing primates, our ancestors, and, well, used their advanced tech to basically give them an upgrade.
So instead of we came from the stars, it's more like we were made by those who came from the stars. That's wild. Did everyone just go along with this plan?
Not exactly. Enlil, always the cautious one, had some serious reservations. But Enki, the brilliant engineer, managed to convince the council that this was the best way to get the gold they so desperately needed.
Okay, so humanity enters the picture. What were those early days like? Did we get employee benefits?
Probably not dental. But Sitchin describes a period of, let's call it, coexistence. Humans learned from the Anunnaki, worked the mines, and the Anunnaki, in turn, got their precious gold.
Sounds almost peaceful, at least for a while. But this is ancient mythology we're talking about, right? Paradise never seems to last very long. What throws a wrench into this setup?
Remember that whole unstable orbit situation with Nibiru?
Oh, right. The planet that can't seem to make up its mind about where it wants to be. What happens? Does it finally spiral into the sun?
Worse. As it makes its next close pass by Earth, its gravitational pull wreaks havoc on a global scale. Big earthquakes, volcanoes erupting, tsunamis, the whole shebang.
Okay, now that's just rude. Poor Earth, always getting caught in the middle of these cosmic squabbles. So this is where the whole story of the Great Flood comes in.
Exactly. Sitchin attributes the flood to this gravitational chaos caused by Nibiru, melting ice caps, throwing the planet off balance, the whole 9 yards.
And humanity is just stuck there like, are you kidding me? Again. So how do we survive? Does anyone learn to build a boat or, a giant bathtub?
Well, that's where Enki, always the softy for humanity, steps in. Now remember, the Anunnaki have this strict non-interference policy.
Right, like cosmic bystanders.
Exactly. They're not supposed to directly interfere with human affairs. So Enki has to get creative. According to Sitchin, he secretly guides a human leader named Zuzudra. You might know him as Noah.
Okay, so Noah gets a divine heads up. What does he tell him to do?
Build a giant boat, of course. Well, more like a submersible vessel, if you believe Sitchin's interpretation.
Clever. Ride out the wave, literally. So humanity survives, the water recedes, and everyone breathes a sigh of relief. Is it smooth sailing from here?
Not quite. We still have that power struggle between Enki and Enlil bubbling under the surface, and let's not forget about Marduk, Enki's ambitious son. He's been awfully quiet lately.
Oh, right, Marduk. Always hungry for power, last we checked. What's he been up to while the Earth is literally reshaping itself?
Well, as the Anunnaki are picking up the pieces after the flood, Marduk sees an opportunity, a chance to reshape the power dynamics. He believes that he should be the one calling the shots, not his father or his uncle.
Bold move. What's his game plan? Write a strongly worded letter to the Anunnaki Council. Start a petition.
Marduk is all about action. He decides to build a massive tower, a gateway to the heavens, right in Enlil's territory. Talk about a power move.
Oh, snap. This just got real. What was he thinking? So, last time we left off with Marduk pulling a real power move, building this massive tower right in Enlil's backyard.
Yeah, talk about a statement. And it wasn't just any tower, oh no. Sitchin links this directly to the Tower of Babel story. Remember that one?
Vaguely. Something about humans trying to reach heaven and, well, it's not going so well.
Exactly. Sitchin suggests this tower was a symbol of Marduk's ambition, a direct challenge to the established Anunnaki order, and possibly even a way to control some kind of planetary energy grid, if you're buying what Sitchin's selling, that is.
Okay, so we're not talking about just a really tall building here. This is like a cosmic game of who's the boss.
Yeah.
How does Enlil react to this?
Let's just say Enlil was not about to let Marduk waltz in and take over. Things escalate quickly, and before you know it, we've got a full-blown war on our hands.
Oh boy, and not just any war, right? We're talking gods with advanced technology duking it out. What does that even look like?
Think weapons of terror, as Sitchin calls them. Beams of energy, sonic weapons, maybe even some kind of poison that messes with your senses. Pretty terrifying stuff, and not exactly good for the environment either.
Yeah, no kidding. Poor Earth, constantly caught in the crossfire. So, who comes out on top in this war of the gods?
Enlil's forces eventually gain the upper hand. They push Marduk and his followers back to their stronghold, which, according to Sitchin, was, wait for it, the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Hold on, you're saying the pyramids were built by aliens? Like, as in giant alien fortresses?
That's what Sitchin suggests. He claims they weren't tombs, but these complex structures with advanced tech, maybe even used as landing pads for their spaceships.
Okay, now that's a theory for another deep dive. But for now, let's get back to Marduk. What happens to him?
Well, Enlil's sons are ready to finish him off. But Enki, ever the protective father, steps in and pleads for his son's life.
Family drama, even amongst the gods, huh?
It's a tale as old as time. So Marduk's life is spared, but he's banished, sent into exile.
Okay, so, exile. Not ideal, but better than being obliterated by your vengeful cousins, right? Is that the end of Marduk's story?
Not quite. Remember that prophecy we talked about earlier? The one that foretells Marduk's rise to power.
Oh, right. Destiny and all that. So, even though he's been banished, he's still destined for greatness.
It seems so. You see, as the Anunnaki are rebuilding after the war, they notice something strange. Marduk's city, Babylon, is completely untouched by the devastation.
Talk about a lucky break.
Enlil sees this as a sign, a confirmation that Marduk's destiny can't be denied. He accepts the prophecy and eventually allows Marduk to return from exile.
And I'm guessing Marduk doesn't just slide back into obscurity after that grand entrance, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Marduk eventually rises to become the ruler of the Anunnaki on Earth, just as the prophecy foretold.
Wow. What a story. But what does this all mean for us? I mean, we're talking about the fate of humanity being decided in a cosmic power struggle. Are we just pawns in some grand game played by these advanced beings?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Sitchin's interpretations are definitely thought-provoking, but it's up to each of us to decide how much we want to take literally and how much we see as, well, mythology.
That's the beauty of exploring these ancient stories, isn't it? They make us question everything we thought we knew about our past and force us to confront the big questions about our place in the universe. If you ask me, that's something worth thinking about.
I completely agree. And who knows, maybe in a future deep dive, we'll uncover even more clues to help us solve this puzzle.